10 Things You Didn't Know About James Murray. 1. He has always wanted to be an author. James Murray knew he wanted to spend the rest of his life writing books. Therefore, he went to Georgetown University to get an undergraduate degree in arts and majored in English. However, his love for performances cannot be ignored, as he was involved in the community theater even before entering college. Now that he's released Awakened, horror fans can't wait for its sequel, The Brink, to come out before the end of the year. 2. He is not successful in the original. Looking at how the four of you have a massive fan base on every show, you'd think that's always been the case. Just like in any business, their first attempt brought total loss. As James recounts, the group did their first gig in March 2004 in New York City, and he's also been teaching improv and sketch comedy since. They rented a 50-person theater for $65 and unfortunately only 2 showed up. As if to lower their morale, his 2 students were just there to support their teacher. Since each ticket sold for $5, they lost $55, but perseverance kept them going. 3. He has a tattoo to celebrate the team's achievement. After starting on a low note, James couldn't wait until they succeeded in their chosen career. So on November 9, 2017, when they had a sold-out show at Madison Square Garden, the experience was amazing. It took James a few weeks to fully understand that 12 years of their pranks were finally paying off. To make sure that date is still fresh in his mind, he got a tattoo to help him remember what he believes is one of the most special experiences ever. 4. It took him 14 years to publish Awakened. James has always been fascinated by horror and thriller stories. These stories helped him decide to start writing Awakened. He was in Brooklyn when he decided to write his first book. Once done, he doesn't bother getting an agent or advisor. Instead, James sent the book to every publisher he knew. This move proved ineffective because the book was sent back, unopened. It dismayed the author, so he put it on his computer, where it had been for 14 years. Around June 2016, James remembered that he still wanted to be an author, so he submitted it to HarperCollins. This time, publishers bought the trilogy from James and the debut book became an international #1 bestseller. 5. His favorite penalty. James and his colleagues can go to some extremes, but one incident stands out for him. The punishment was dubbed the strip high five, in which they dared each other to receive a high five score from a stranger. Unable to get it, one has to take off a piece of clothing. James remembers taking off a pair of underwear, and because they oiled him, he thought he was going to enter a bodybuilding competition. To his surprise, he finds himself standing in front of his childhood sweetheart, Danica McKellar, for an intimate interview. 6. How he meets my women. Most relationships are fortuitous, and James Murray and Melissa's are no different. James threw a party for the launch of his debut novel, and Melissa happened to be gone. The moment they met, they were on good terms and the chemistry was undeniable. James admitted that he never experienced what he felt with Melissa. To this day, he thanks God that he wrote the novel. 7. How he proposed a wife. James and Melissa spent their first vacation as a couple in Turks and Caicos. It was during that trip that James confessed his feelings for Melissa. James had planned to propose to her on the spot where he said he loved her. However, this plan failed because they were unable to reach the Turks and Caicos after Hurricane Dorian devastated the Bahamas. Determined not to let his proposed marriage plan be completely ruined, James lied to Melissa that they had to sign some documents for their New Jersey home. When he told people, he organized a picnic with a bottle of champagne and a Scrabble board in which he spelled out "Will you marry me?" 8. His were wedded and different within 24 hours after the wedding. By far, the shortest celebrity marriage was between Zsa Zsa Gabor and Count Philippe d'Alba. After one day, the two had to call off their relationship after Zsa Zsa discovered she was still married to Michael O'Hara. James is also legally married to Sal's sister as punishment for Sal. The marriage was planned a few months ago, and it was not until after the wedding that friends revealed it was a prank. Therefore, After the honeymoon, James and Jenna Vicano divorced. 9. His sexual. In early 2016, Sal Vicano stepped out of the closet on Talk Show with Sally Jensen. It was thought it was just a move that helped James have the courage to admit that he was gay, and it worked because James showed up. However, despite multiple sources claiming James was openly gay in the Impractical Jokers, he was never spotted dating a boyfriend. He's now married to a woman, which makes you wonder if admitting he's gay is a joke. 10. The band you want to play in the Super Bowl's half-hour show. In 2014, Fox Sports asked 4 friends who they wanted to perform during halftime at the Super Bowl. James didn't hesitate to say that Jackson 5 joining Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z would be great. James has somewhat achieved his wish, since Justin Timberlake performed in 2018. However, with Jay-Z feeling comfortable with being the show's producer, seeing him perform would still be a distant dream. Thank you for watching our videos. Subscribe to our channel to get notifications when we post newest videos. Thank you and goodbye.